I want your keys, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Good morning and welcome to what is probably going to be a bit of a comedy ride today, because Stu and I are out by ourselves, but not on normal bikes today because, well, I'm not sure how the situation arose, to be quite honest with you, but yesterday we decided that because today is going to be -2, which it is right now, we always get a little bit nervous about going out on the roads just in case it gets a bit icy dicey on those skinny 25, 28mm 700C tyres. So instead we decided to come up the Flitch Way again, which is a beautiful off-road old railway line that's been turned into a cycle and pedestrian path that runs from Bishop Stortford to Braintree. Now that's all well and good, most of us have got gravel bikes for that, but one of my friends, Chris, doesn't have a mountain bike or gravel bike yet, so I offered him the use of one of the many e-bikes I've been sent through over the last year, but he decided he was going to go out on a road ride anyway and do that a bit later on in the day. So Stu, how did you describe yourself yesterday?
A lazy. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's an unmentionable. This is a family channel. I'm not using that word. So being one of those, Stu said, well, I'll take the e-bike if it's up for grabs. So he did. And then I thought, well, if he's going out on the e-bike, then why don't I take out one of the other ones? It'll be a bit of fun.
Also, due to a plethora of excuses I've been using, mainly alcohol and lethargy, I thought, what better way to ease me back in than have a bike do half the work for me? Sorry, a bike do 3/4 of the work for me. Delete as applicable.
So yeah, here we are out on, well, on our way to the Flitch Way. We're not quite there yet, on a couple of e-bikes. And interestingly, the e-bike that I'm on, I've not actually shown you guys yet. I received it back in August last year, and I did the first part of the build, and then unfortunately life got in the way, family activities, and yeah, unfortunately I just never got a chance to take it out on the road and probably review it. So I'm going to be trying to do that today, but that will be a separate video, so look out for that one in the coming weeks. But for now, Stu and I are out on the e-bikes. We're going to try and have some fun. I am going to go for some very bumpy ground here, and I'm very glad for the dual suspension on this bike, again, which will be fully explained in the review video. So yeah, today, as I said earlier, will probably be a little bit of a comedy ride as we make our way to the Flitch Way and go on a little bit of a ride. The other thing is that we're both in a bit of a rush today, or at least I am. I need to be back by 10 o'clock this morning, and it's now, oh God, can you hear in my voice how bumpy this ground is? So I've got to be back by 10 o'clock this morning. So we've only got just over 2 hours to get this ride done. So that was another reason for using the e-bikes, thinking that we could go a little bit further than we would be able to on pure leg power.
Much easier than last time, and the brakes are sharper.
Yeah, the last time Stu and I came along here, he was on his super budget gravel bike that I converted from an old 90s mountain bike for him. And yeah, it's fair to say he had a few things to say about the braking performance. The Toro U1, which I've already reviewed on the channel, that he's currently riding, much better apparently, so that's good. Hopefully less moaning from Stu today. Now, another part of the reason that we're coming out off-road on this bike specifically this morning is because, unlike Stu's, which is fully road legal with only a 250-watt motor, this one that I'm riding is completely road illegal for the UK because it has a 750-watt motor. So before you even decided whether you want to de-restrict the speed, turn the throttle on or anything like that, unfortunately it rules it out for any kind of legal road use in the UK. It is fair to say it is absolutely freezing this morning. It's currently -2 showing on my watch, and we're going over, even on this muddy off-road trail, we're going over some fairly slippery and icy parts. So I'm very glad to have these very knobbly, very wide 4-inch tyres on this thing at the moment. They are coming in very handy. Right, well, we finally made it to the Flitch Way, and already we've had some massive fun just getting here. These bikes are awesome, and especially this one I'm on. I feel like Steve McQueen from The Great Escape. I just need some kind of barbed wire fence to jump over. I'm not sure I'm going to find any of those along here, or muddy bits. Stand by. Oh, slippery, slippery. No barbed wire fences, but plenty of deep muddy puddles. No problem for this thing though.
It's the Peppa Pig of bicycles. It loves jumping in muddy puddles.
You can tell Stu's got young kids. Right, onwards. Let's experience some more of this Flitch Way. This thing is like an off-road dirt bike. It's absolutely fantastic. Throwing it through these muddy trails. I haven't had this much fun on a bike in a very long time, let me tell you. Right, I've got to wait for Stu now because I think he might be struggling a little bit on his skinny 1.95 inch wide tyres. You need some 4-inch tyres, Stu. Right, well, we're now about 30k into this ride, and I haven't filmed much for this video because, well, quite honestly, I've been doing the review for this bike. But now we're 30k in, I have lost a little bit of battery, but it's fair to say that Stu has lost a bit more battery. So to try and conserve energy to make sure we can get back with a little bit of juice left, Stu's turned the power off on his bike, which has made cycling uphill a little bit difficult. So I've been helping him out a little bit. Right, we're back on the flat, so Stu's under his own power again. But now, having got up that hill, there's another one coming up. This ride this morning has been absolutely incredible. So much fun on this bike.
Made it.
Right, well, that was a lovely cup of tea done at the Booking Hall Cafe, and we're now back on the move, homeward bound. And we've decided to swap bikes, although I'm quickly regretting this decision because, yeah, I am trying to save the battery on the bike that Stu's riding, so I'm currently going full manual. It's hard work, this. Stu, on the other hand, is absolutely loving life on the Treadway M20 at the moment, pretending that he's Peter Fonda or Dennis Hopper in Easy Rider. He's off, I can't keep up. Right, sod him, I'm turning the battery on this bike. It's much easier pedaling this one without a battery than it is that one that he's on, so yeah, sod him. You hear that, Stu? If you're watching this, sod ya. He can't hear me now, he's too far ahead of me. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I absolutely love it along this Flitch Way. It's beautiful, no cars, very little pedestrians once you get to a certain part of it anyway. Back down at the booking hall, there is obviously quite a lot of families and stuff, but once you get a bit further along here, you've just got miles and miles of uninterrupted trails. And on a morning like this, it is a bit cold, but when it's sunny like this, you don't really care. It's just, oh, it's stunning, look at it. So I'm down to 2 bars on this bike. What are you on there? Stu's down to 2 of 5 bars there. And we are getting what some may deem range anxiety. So we're 40k down, another 20k to go, so 12 miles. And it is currently very warm. I'm not entirely sure exactly how warm it is. I don't know whether it's actually warmed up or, as Stu said, whether I'm actually cycling at the moment. I'm the one doing all the work. Whatever it is, it's slightly uncomfortable. What I would say is don't come out on a transitional day where the weather starts at -2 and is likely to get up to about 7 or 8 degrees in a massive puffer jacket. Right, Stu, we'll swap back once you've got up that massive step.
Don't tell you about this. Come on, kick in.
43 kilos. Right, should we swap back?
Yeah, okay, fine. You've only left me one bar, you little. I got it at 2. I'll give it back at 2.
My 2 of 5.
It's like a hire car.
You don't look so happy all of a sudden, Stu.
Yeah, well, so I turned it off a bit, and then it went up to 3. So
give it a go.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I mean, these batteries do not have regenerative power, but why not? Give it a go, eh? Oh, he's turned the power off completely. You've screwed me. Oh, and he's got it in 7th gear as well. It's in top gear. How am I supposed to pull away here? Throttle, that's how. Right, we're off. Down to 2 bars. Definite range anxiety now. Right, we're back on Treacle Alley. Oh, this is going to get very slippy and slidey for a bit, but this is where the fun starts again. I didn't get much of this on the way back because I was too busy filming the review for this bike. So now you're going to get to experience the full splendour of Treacle Alley. Oh man, this thing is unbelievable amounts of fun, especially when you can take your feet off the pedals and use the throttle to get through the worst of the muddy bits. It does stop your feet getting wet, cold and dirty. When I tell you that this is incredibly fun though, I am genuinely not lying. This has been one of the funnest rides I've done in a very long time. Apart from the bit where I was on that bike. Poor old Stu. Sorry, Stu. Right, we're back next to the airport, back next to the A120, which means we've only got a few more miles left to go before we get back home. So I'm gonna go and enjoy the last of this ride with my buddy Stu, and I'll talk to you when I'm back home a little bit more about just how awesome this bike is. Well, this last 3 or 4 miles has been more of an adventure than the entire ride this morning. Definitely time to get home for a cup of tea now. Right, and we're back. Stu, I noticed that you were sweating a little bit coming up that last hill. There was just a modicum of water on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
Were you a bit warm after today's ride?
Yeah.
And he can't even speak. Right, good riding with you, mate. Nice one. Thank you very much for coming up. Right, so this bike, as I said earlier, this has been massively fun. And although there have been some parts of it that were a bit of a struggle, I don't think I've had as much fun on a bike for a very long time. Now, I'm not going to be replacing my normal road bike with this thing anytime soon. I do still enjoy getting out and actually having a bit of fitness and exercise. But for a one-off, in weather like this, on a day like today, with a mate like Stu, absolute fantastic fun, and I can highly recommend it. So if you haven't already got an e-bike, I can well recommend one of these things, or to be honest, any e-bike. I know there are a lot of e-bike skeptics out there, but I think the only people who hate e-bikes are people who have never been on an e-bike. So go and get yourself on one. Even if you go and trial one at a bike shop, I'm sure you will have a massive amount of fun. If you do want one of these, Engway have given me a discount code, which I'll leave in the description below. And also the review video for this will be out probably next week by now. So go and check that out when it comes out as well, because it will be full of information on this bike. Anyway, I am now going to go and completely wash these bikes down, and actually wash myself down as well, because I am absolutely caked in mud now. But I don't care, because I have had the best time ever. So on that note, I will leave you and say thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this one funny, interesting and useful, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Stu, I've said it before, I'll say it again. What are we doing?